Manifestation has become this throw around phrase that people are using everywhere. Oh, just manifest it. You just got to be in the energy and manifest. Let's cut the bullshit. I'm taking you on a 4-day journey that is going to cover how you can become an absolute master of manifestation. So in this video, this is day 1. This is all about letting go. And trust me, these tips are going to show you exactly how to let go properly and entirely so that you can manifest and do it confidently. But if you don't want to miss out on the next steps, make sure to hit the subscribe button, but turn your notifications on so that you don't miss when I upload day 2. There will be a new video every week, as well as a new challenge that we're going to focus on every month with these topics of becoming an absolute legend at learning how to manifest, how to incorporate different spiritual topics in your life and take control of your life in the most powerful way possible. And for those of you who are super eager to learn about this stuff and understand it in a really practical way, there will be a free WhatsApp group coming very soon. If it isn't in the description, it will be there soon. Go take a look. And if it's not, comment WhatsApp group. So guys, we're going to start off with day 1, which is letting go. Letting go is a process so many people speak about, like just let it go. I'm not going to be in this cast off energy. I want to actually help you understand what it is to let go from a spiritual perspective so that you know how to do it and start manifesting like an absolute boss. When it comes to letting go in spirituality, it's referencing one important point, and that's what this is all about today. Letting go is not just about detaching from an outcome or a scenario. It's actually about detaching from your entire identity. And you might think, well, why would I want to do that? Maybe if I detach from my identity, am I still going to want the things I'm even doing it for? Yes, absolutely you will, but without the blocks in the way. And that's what this video is going to do today, is help you remove the blocks that are stopping you from getting to what you actually want in life. So step 1 is to set your intention of letting go. And the way we set our intention is by understanding exactly what we want to let go of. We can find this really clearly by highlighting what we want to achieve ultimately, but also by identifying emotions we don't want to feel. That is the key point when it comes to how do you actually let go. Focus on the feeling you do not want to experience anymore. You need to label it, you need to identify it. That emotion is the thing that you need to shift in order to actually start manifesting the things that you want to manifest. So if you want to start manifesting Ferraris and Lamborghinis, totally possible. We've seen it because people have Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and you are no different from them. We need to find the emotional block that isn't allowing you to feel like a Lamborghini or Ferrari owner. If for you, that scarcity is linked to like anger and frustration and desire, wishing things were constantly different. That's okay if those are the issues, but identifying it is the absolute key. So setting your intention is when you actually bring that emotion into the forefront and understand that it's there, accept that it's there, and then we're going to get into a grounding phase to help you distinguish between the feeling you don't want and the feeling you should have to manifest your ultimate dreams and goals. That's why the word emotions written next to grounded, because you're going to go into understanding the feeling you prefer. That's the magical twist when it comes to letting go, is understanding it's about the emotions you want to experience. To ground it, you can do something really simple. Breathing is the most common spoken about grounding technique that there is. Now, I know you breathe all the time. We all breathe all the time, but intentional breathing where you actually focus on your breath. What this actually does is get you out of your head and into the moment, because as soon as you're in the moment and not stuck in your mind in thought, time starts to match up with your thoughts. I'm sure you're probably someone who sits and thinks, I don't have enough time in the day to do the things that I want to do. I don't have enough time. Even I use this excuse. We all have caught ourselves going, I just don't have enough time. Why do we believe that? Why do we think that we don't have enough time? Because we're living in thought and not in the actual world, in the moment, in where we actually are. We're living in our heads. So getting to grounding yourself in the emotion you prefer to experience is literally the strongest technique to shift things into your favor. And I'm going to give you such a simple exercise to do it perfectly. You're going to do 10 breaths over 10 seconds each. Guys, this literally takes less than 3 minutes of your time to get this effect. Breathe in for 5 seconds and count it. If you need to do it on your phone, do it. And then breathe out for 5 seconds. Do that 10 times and you'll be amazed at how much more clarity you get of your moment. You can try it right now. You can pause this video and try it. You'll see just how much of an impact breathing has on your awareness. And that is how you ground yourself in the emotion. Because oftentimes the emotion, like I said earlier, the thing we want to get rid of, that emotion sits there because we are giving so much attention to it and not being in the moment. So getting into a grounded space with the emotion will actually separate your mind from what's actually going on. Something really interesting that will help you understand this concept is what happens to your body when an actual threat is coming versus an imagined one. Fear, anger, any emotion you experience, your body doesn't know the difference between the imagined version and the real version. So your body will respond exactly the way chemically it would in both scenarios, imagined and reality. So you got to get into understanding what is happening in your mind and start controlling the thoughts going on in there. That will help you control the emotion that you're trying to get rid of or implement. Then we get to step 3, which is actually releasing the block. And it's an emotional block. Oftentimes it's a belief system or thought in your mind that you think is real. And when it comes to releasing, we have to understand something really important. Letting go has a lot to do with value systems. Now that's where we assign value to things, and that's actually an obstacle because it makes us feel like there's a pedestal thinking there. If you go, oh my word, I'm not worthy of a Lamborghini, or I don't have enough to qualify. Spiritually, what you're saying is I am not of the same frequency of the things that I want. And wanting, the very emotion of desire, is a pedestal thinking. That starts separating you from what you want because you're not in the energy of having. Now, I want you to imagine for a minute, and this is how we get to releasing it. Imagine God is listening to your prayers and you're praying and going, hey God, I really want this, please can I have it? And let's imagine that the words are not actually how you pray, but the emotion behind it is how you pray. Then you ask yourself, what is the emotion tied to please can I have? The emotion there is not an emotion of possession, it's an emotion of desire. So then if that's the thing you're praying for, that's what will be given to you. More things to desire, more things to want, because you're in the energy of want. But if you're in the energy of having, the words you're going to use are thank you for. Now, if your body cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience and the real experience, you might as well treat the imagination as a playground and design what you want there. Start putting your Lamborghini there, start putting your mansion there, the love of your life, whatever you wanting to do this whole 4-day system with me for. Put yourself in that energy and in that space of what it's like to have in your imagination, in the emotional space in your mind. Start being where you ultimately want to be. And the way we get to this release is by understanding the difference between want and have. So you will release your blockage just by identifying the difference. So if you're setting the intention, finding this emotion that you don't prefer, that's kind of interrupting your joy and your peace, and then you go, okay, fantastic, let me sit with this and get into my awareness by breathing. It's going to help you distinguish and balance firstly where your head's at and where you're actually at. And then by understanding the value systems between the two, that you're placing too much value on something and not yourself, that highlights the differences between the two spaces where you want to be and where you are. The release comes from choosing the good emotion as your identity, that grateful, thank you, I have it space. And then you can easily release the desire, for example. We just use desire as an example, but you can release that desire because you're now in the energy of I have. Thanks very much for. That emotion is the instruction to the universe. And if you think about it, ultimately it comes down to this point. How you treat yourself and how you think others treat you all ends up in an emotion. It comes to a feeling. That is the reality you actually experience, is an emotion. So if you're taking control of how this emotion gets chosen for you and you're choosing the emotions consciously, that's the experience you're going to start having in your day-to-day life. Then this is something I wish I had done from the start of my spiritual journey, which was like 6 years ago. I wish I wrote everything down. A lot of the epiphanies I had and the mindset shifts I had that made me stay in the high energy were concepts that came right after the awakening. And if you're starting to shift your mental understanding into a spiritual understanding, you are doing the exact same thing. But writing these points down helps you come back to the emotional understanding, the epiphany, that keeps you in that frequency over time. So write down what it is you let go of and what you replaced it with. What did you reduce in your value system? And then coming back to look at that will give you a very clear picture of what you need to continue to do to feel the way you want to feel, and ultimately that will be letting go of the obstacle. And then taking this a step further is going into affirmations. But before I explain the affirmation system, I'm just going to ask you guys one last time to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a thought in the comments. It helps this video reach more people, which ultimately helps me carry on making videos for YouTube. And don't forget to check out the WhatsApp group chat that you guys can join for free and we can chat about these things as the weeks go on. If it's not there, leave a comment. It will be coming very soon. Affirmations are one of the best ways to solidify a new concept that you're trying to adopt in your mind. Because when you start telling yourself something, you start believing it. If you're gonna sit every single day and say, Jesus, I'm tired, you're gonna feel so tired all the time, because that is the constant thing you're affirming to yourself. If you start saying, geez, I feel so energetic today, and you say it the next day and the next day, you start to wire your brain to look for reasons that you are actually energetic. Now, when it comes to letting concepts go, habit is so important. We have to get into the habit of remembering what we're actually doing. And that's why writing it down is so important, because that can be your affirmation. If you reread what you wrote down 21 days, you form a new neural pathway that is a new habit to remind yourself of these systems that you're trying to change. So when letting something go, reminding what else you kind of went to and moved on to is what's going to help you stay in that frequency. Affirmations help keep a cycle going that will keep you in that spiritual high. Day 2 will be coming next week. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like. And if you don't want to miss out on day 2, which is coming next week, we're going to be diving into how to actually start instructing the universe to bring what you want to you. Then hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on, because that's going to let you know when day 2's video is out. And I'll see you guys on that video.